Good morning, guys. So we will be continuing with the thread synchronization today. I think probably in yesterday's class we saw there is haphazard displaying of the output, and that got modified with the usage of join method. Um I think I could call that a pseudo synchronization, not complete synchronization. I will retake a join method afterwards, probably in the next class, because when I cover the actual thread synchronization, I'll be able to compare that with the join method very easily. Uh, so today I'll be beginning with what is called as thread synchronization. Okay. Um, so let us begin with the content of it, then I will take the examples. Okay, the first question is, why do we require thread synchronization? First question comes into picture, why do we require thread synchronization, or why do we require the word synchronization? Okay, other than the things that are being displayed over here, anybody want to convey this in a simpler way? Why synchronization? Don't talk about thread synchronization alone. Why do we require synchronization? Yes.
Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. Go ahead.
Ma'am, actually synchronization means, let's suppose there are two threads.
Yeah.
They are sharing the resources. But the thing is that only one thread will use the resource at a time. So
Mhm.
to make the insurance, to make the assure that only one thread will use that at a time, the type of we can say the type of approach or the type of arrangement that is called as synchronization.
Okay. Any other? I think I have a chat over here. Let me read that. Aditi has mentioned it is for efficient use of processor. Okay. Any other people want to convey in simpler way why synchronization required? Don't think only about thread synchronization. In general terms, I'm asking why synchronization needed. Can anybody else comment? Make it fast. You can either chat or you can unmute and go ahead. Varshini has commented to handle the situation properly. What kind of situation?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah,
And can we say that we use synchronization to avoid the locking type of problems that we
correct.
generally see
Correct.
in operating system?
Correct. There is something called as suppose. Let's suppose there is a process, there is a task going on, which takes over everybody. Okay, and it takes such a longer time that all other people have to wait until it completes. So there is a lagging of the task. There is a lagging of task. Okay. So in order to avoid such things, we may require what is called as synchronization. Okay. Varshini also has commented when it comes to threads, as we have seen yesterday, it was giving improper outputs. Okay, correct. Then Amol has commented efficient sharing of processor resources. Correct. Then Bhagyashri has shared to avoid the interruption of one thread with another. Okay. Actually, it is interruption of one thread by another. Uh, I think it is not totally avoiding. It is to balance that interference. Okay. That to balance it properly. The way in which I want to manage that. Okay. And somebody, Ajay has commented to allow first one thread to do its task, then the other one. And Somshekhar has commented for better understanding between the two or more components. Okay, all these sounds good. All these sounds good. So they are in general terms. Okay, I have mentioned three important concepts over here. Why do we require synchronization? Okay, the first point showcases on Just 1 minute. Okay. The first point showcases on to control the access of many threads to a shared resource. When we are talking about shared resource, I think most of you have covered this point. Okay. You, in order to have a controlled access to this shared resource, when I want to allow somebody to access that shared resource, when I don't want to allow that, so all those controllabilities are made possible using what is called as synchronization. Then there is something called, this is a fundamental reason why we go for what is called as synchronization. I don't want to have any kind of interference when I'm going ahead when in doing something. Two threads should not collide in such a manner that I don't understand what is happening. Okay. So in order to avoid that thread interference problems, I need what is called as synchronization. Then there is something called as to prevent consistency. What is this consistency? I think long back when I had taken one ATM example, there, when I want to withdraw money, uh, without withdrawing, suppose it displays me suppose that I have withdrawn the money and it is displaying me the older balance, then I'll be the most happiest person, because even after withdrawing I am having the same amount remaining in my bank. Okay, something like that, where data consistency matters a lot. What has to happen first, what has to happen next, those things are being taken care when you are going ahead with what is called as synchronization. And this is the most important issue in most of the data related applications. Okay, because as I have given you the banking example, without updating the thing, if you display the data to the user will be dancing like anything. Okay, or otherwise the other way may also happen. I have deposited the amount but it is still showing me the same old balance. Okay, the other way may also happen. So data consistency is more important. Okay, that's why the synchronization is required. So there are basically two types of synchronization. When I take up in terms of a process or a task, okay, I call it as process synchronization. It is a bigger one compared to the thread synchronization, because thread being the lightweight process, managing becomes much easier. Context switching of threads is much smaller compared to process. So I can group them into process synchronization and thread synchronization. Okay. Right now, I'm least bothered about process synchronization because my point of topic is thread. So let me go ahead with what is called as thread synchronization. And now I'm going ahead with thread synchronization with reference to Java. Okay, with reference to Java. So when I consider synchronization as a whole in Java, I talk in terms of two or operating system perspective. When I talk synchronization in two terms. One I call as mutex, that is mutual exclusion. The other I call it as inter-thread. Even in process, we have something called inter-process communication, and there is something called mutual exclusion. I think about this I have talked about when I was starting with this chapter, where I talked about there is a thread stopping another thread, or forcibly, or there is a timeline and both will agree upon that and they will interchange their roles. Okay, so what is this mutual exclusion talks about? Mutual exclusion tells that I have a lock. Okay, there is something called as lock available in this. I have a lock. Using that lock, that lock will be available as part of the whole process. Okay, whichever thread holds that particular lock will tell that until I complete my task, I will not leave this lock. So all other threads are waiting for this lock. Then again, there are multiple ways in which I can implement this. Okay, so that holding of lock and then releasing the lock after the process, after the task is done, that is called as mutual exclusive way of applying synchronization. Then there is something called as inter-thread communication. So I think in this, more than one threads are are in a ready state. where it may so happen that all threads will agree upon that we will go ahead in round robin fashion, or they will agree upon whenever you are reading something, you just go back in the waiting queue, something like that. Any kind of implementation can be possible. So inter-thread communication is more than one threads. They communicate properly in such a manner that there is no problem at all. Okay. But even then, there is some problem called as, there is some problem in this inter-thread communication or in the mutual exclusion. There is something called as waiting problem that may lead to what is called as deadlock. Okay, anything that you take have a problem. That's why there has to be growth in the study. Okay, it is step by step study. So let us take up initially the mutual exclusion. Okay. Under mutual exclusion methods, we have three different categories in which I can have the implementation done in Java. The first way is called as use of synchronized method. The meaning of this, I have the details of this in the next slides. Okay. What is this synchronized method talks about? The method you have written it separately, that method you want to synchronize, because the meaning of that, the method is written somewhere and it is available. When some object calls that method, that object holds the lock of that method. It means what? No other object can have the access to that method until and unless this particular object completes. So I can call the functionality, the core functionality part can be grouped as one method, and that can be made as a synchronized method. So then the question comes, in the programs till now written, which are the methods that are available for me? The important methods available for me are main and the run. Okay, main available in main class and run available in thread class. Okay, more than one thread can have more than one run method. Means each thread class has one run method. So can I synchronize the run method itself? Yes, you can. So if you make the run method of that particular thread class as synchronized, then whoever or whichever object calls the start method with respect to that particular thread class, then that object holds the lock of that particular run method. Until it completes, no other can interfere. This is one way of doing. Second way is there is something called as synchronized block. Guys, when I take up this block into consideration, uh, I think probably you have heard about static variable. You have heard about static in a simple C program. Okay, static variable, static method, and there is something also called as static block. I think I have discussed it in detail when I was taking data structures. Okay. All the three things I have talked about. You can have a static variable, you can have a static method, you can have a static block. Okay. So in executing the whole of C program, the first ever block that gets executed is static block, and it is mainly used for initializing some constants. I hope you remember that. Same way, the block of the code that is more required to be synchronized, part of say thousands of lines of code, partly you want to synchronize, but you don't want to group that as a method. You don't want to give a name to that method. I hope you are understanding the difference between the first and the second. The first one talks about set of instructions grouped under a name. Set of instructions grouped under a name. That name is the method name. So for example, run is also a method. You can synchronize the run method directly, or run method may have multiple sub methods inside, or there may be a thread class having more than one method. And wherever required, run method will invoke the call for the for the methods that are being written. This kind of example I'll be showing you today in the class, okay, where I'm writing a separate class which has the method or the functionality is written as method name. Run method does only calling for this particular method. Till now what you have seen, there is a main method, there is a run method. No other thing we have seen. Okay. Now you just imagine there is a run method of the thread class. From the run method, there is a call for other methods. There's a call for other methods. In doing so, only part of the code, not the whole of the run method, only part of the code before calling, I want to make it synchronized. Then what I will do is I will use or I will group that particular set of instructions into a block which is unnamed. But until which is unnamed, but instead of that, what I will do is I will write it as synchronized opening curly brace, closing curly brace. I will show you all the examples. So synchronized block is different from synchronized method in the manner that synchronized method has a name associated. Synchronized block doesn't have the name, but instead the part it is, I can tell it as a smaller version of synchronized method, smaller version or derived version of synchronized method. Okay, just 1 minute, guys. I think the meeting has locked itself because many people are signing in. I just unlock. Okay, so I can call this synchronized block as a smaller version of synchronized method. I hope you have understood this. Any doubt in this, please, you can just have a chat. Any doubt in this, in between the two? Synchronized block and synchronized method. Please let me know. Any doubt between the two? No conversation from your side. Any doubt you have?
No doubts, ma'am.
Yeah, Anand? No doubts. Okay. Yeah. So I have something called as static synchronization. Okay. About this, I'll be talking only in the next class. Right now, I'll not be touching this. Okay. Today's class, I'll be concentrating on what is called a synchronized method and synchronized block. Okay. Let me go ahead. And also this inter-thread communication, this we will take definitely afterwards. Okay. So let's go ahead. Then the question comes, when to use what? Three things are there, correct? When to use what? Whenever you are using a synchronized method, you have to prefix, please read it very carefully. You have to prefix the keyword synchronized. Can you prefix in any way you want? It should appear like this. It should appear like this. After the access specifier, there is something called as keyword synchronized, followed by the return type of the function, then the whole prototype of the function header. Okay, so it is between public, private, whatever that is there, and the return type. The keyword synchronized has to come. So this is how you are making a method synchronized. So I have just discussed the ways in which you can do. Okay, then synchronized block, when to use? I think I have told it very clearly. If you want to synchronize only 5 lines of 5 lines out of 50 lines of code, then you can use that synchronized block. Under the synchronized block, you can write whatever code you want to synchronize. Okay, so this kind of example I'll be showing in my in the coming examples. Okay, let me end this for a while. I'll come back to this presentation later. Okay, let me share one program to you. Yes. I think I have used the same example that we had discussed yesterday. No change at all I have done. Okay, but I have simply renamed it as table, class table, which prints me the table from 1 to 10 of that particular number. I have not changed anything other than that. Okay. Instead, what I have done, instead of creating two classes, I have used the same class and created two different objects and called the same constructor using n1 and n2. Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay, so what I have done, I have read two different values n1 and n2 and created two different threads t1 and t2 on the same class table and passed n1 and n2 as parameters. Okay, so I think there is no need for showing this program again according to me. The same program I have used it, reused it. Can I continue with the explanation? Or you want to glance through the program once?
Let us glance once.
Let us glance once. Okay. So what I have done here, let me go to the main. Okay. In the main, what has happened? I have just asked from the user an integer input and I have stored it in n1 and there is reading of second integer n2. Okay. Then there is a creation of t1 using table. What is this table? I'll just go back to the class table. Class table is a thread class. Okay, is a thread class. Then what is need for sync? It is need for sync is the main class. Okay. Now, inside this, I have declared one local variable. Actually, without this local variable also, you can go ahead. How? I will show it in the next example using this. Okay. I have modified this program into the next program that you will see very soon. Now I have taken a local variable m and using the constructor, the number that is passed, I am assigning it to m. Now using this m inside the run method, I have just printed the table of multiplication table of the number m. Okay, multiplication table of number m inside the run method. Now, inside this need for sync, that is the main class, I have read the two values and passed n1 in t1, passed n2 in t2. So definitely n1 and n2 are different. It means what? T1 and t2 have to be different. Both have to be treated independently. Now what I have done, t1.start and t2.start I have given. I have never used a join method here. Purposely I have not done. I will do it on Monday, not now. Okay. I have not used t1.start.join or t1.join. I have never used, or t2.join I have never used. Okay, I have simply called these two methods. Now, let us see how this will work. I will run this code. So what it is asking for? Enter the first number. Then let me enter say 23. Just have a look at the kind of the output you are getting. All the output, whether it is in the proper manner. Is it in the proper manner? Let me run it again. Okay, let me run it again. Let me stop this. Stop running. Then let me run it again. So suppose I enter 7, second number I enter 20. Just have a look at the kind of the output. It is again jumbled. Okay, it is jumbled. I think this you have seen previously also. Previously also you have seen this. So this is the need for synchronization. Okay, so let me go ahead, go back to the program, and what I will do is I will use the first method of synchronization, mutual exclusion, that is called as synchronized method. So what I will do, I'll just go to run method. I have asked this question to you previously also. Can I synchronize the run method? Yes, it is possible. Okay. So how you have to write the keyword synchronized? After the public, let me write synchronized, space the return type, followed by the rest of the method declaration. Okay, just a minute. Hello. हाँ मैम क्लास है नंगा. हाँ okay हाँ. Okay, now what I have done, I have not changed anything in the whole of the program except one simple word that I have written before the method which need to be synchronized. Here I don't have explicit any other method, but instead the run method I have. So I just want to synchronize that run method directly. Imagine that you have a class containing more than 2 methods. Say suppose there is a class, imagine like this, there are 3 classes. First class contains 3 different methods. Second class is a thread class. Second class is a thread class. And third class is the main class. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to tell. Okay, here I do not have any other method other than run method. So it becomes so simple for me. But imagine a situation like this. There are 3 classes available. First class containing all the implementation methods, that is functionality methods. I'll show that example next. Okay. Second class contains, it is nothing but the thread class. What thread class contains? Thread class contains a run method. Okay. Then there is one more class called third class, which is called as main class. I hope you are getting what I am trying to tell. There are 3 classes. First class contains all the functionalities written as different functions or methods. Second class is a thread class containing corresponding run method. Third class is the main class which has to do only creation of object. That's it, nothing else other than that. Now how this has to be done? See, in this case, can I need to synchronize the run method? I don't have to, because run method does what internally? Using the object of the other class, it calls the method of the first class. Run method does what? Calling of the first class method. Then what this main method does? Main method creates an object of thread class. Using that object of thread class calls the start method. Start internally invokes run method. Run internally calls for the method available in class 1. This is how actual process has to happen. Now in this case, when I have written 3 methods in the first class, out of the 3 methods, if I want to synchronize only the second method, then I will be writing synchronized keyword for that second method. But if I synchronize the whole run method, what will happen? If I synchronize the whole run method, what will happen? It will automatically synchronize the calls also. There may be a case there has to be interference allowed for few of the function calls. For example, if you are reading, both of them are reading from different resources, then I do not require any specific separation. In such cases, if I synchronize the whole run method, then the actual synchronization goes off. Because in that case, the synchronization stays, but what goes off? Multi-threading goes off. The essence of multi-threading goes off. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to explain. If not, I will repeat what I'm telling. Please comment. Why I cannot synchronize the run method every time? I'm trying to explain you why cannot I synchronize the run method every time. I hope you are getting this, or I will explain it again. Please repeat. Okay. You just imagine, I think I will take the same example and tell it very slowly, then you will understand it. Okay. I will take the same instance where there are 3 classes. Please, all of you have a writing on a page. Just scribble what I am trying to tell. There are 3 classes. First class has 3 methods defined in it. What is the role of first class? Defining the functionality. Method 1, method 2, method 3. Okay. Method 1 and method 3 can work independently. They are not dependent on anything. But method 2, when it is running, it is crucial because it is working on shared data where data consistency matters. Okay, so out of the 3 methods available, which needs to be synchronized? Out of the 3 methods available, only the second method needs to be synchronized. Imagine all those functionalities without creating a separate class. All those functionalities are added as part of run method as done now. As done now. I have added all those functionality as part of run method. Then if I write a synchronized keyword to this run method, then what happens? All those 3 functionalities are synchronized. They become mutually exclusive. But actually, the first method and the third method doesn't require mutual exclusion. For those 2 methods, 2 parallel threads can work at a time. Only for the second method, there has to be mutual exclusion. If I synchronize the run method, all gets mutually exclusive, which I don't require. Whenever mutual exclusion required, only then I have to use. I think in this example, where 3 methods are there, 2 methods need not be mutually exclusive. Only the second method has to be mutually exclusive with respect to 2 threads. Then I may not write synchronized for the whole of the run method. Instead, what I will do, run method I will keep as it is without synchronized word. And I will go on calling the functions whenever required. And when I call of method 1 is non-synchronized. So at a time, more than 1 threads can call that method 1. Parallelly, 2 threads can work on it because they are independent. But whenever there is a call for method 2 from the run method, through the run method, there is a call for method 2. Method 2, I will assign or prefix with block with the word synchronized. Then that method 2, whenever until it completes its running, no other thread can take part in method 2. Only that part gets mutually exclusive. I hope you are getting what I'm trying to tell. I'm sweating like anything when I'm explaining this. Okay, I hope you are getting Varshini, what I'm trying to tell. Got any other doubt over here? No doubt, right? Okay, for this example, let me continue with this. For this particular example, what I have done for simplicity, because it has nothing but only printing of table, and the printing of table has to be mutually exclusive, because if you mix and match the things, you'll not understand which table is printed where. It has to be mutually exclusive. So I want to make the run method itself a synchronized. Okay, so what I have done here, I have just modified, just added or prefixed one keyword before void of run method. And what is that? Synchronized. So this kind of writing method using synchronized keyword is called as synchronized method. And whenever I synchronize a method, that particular method will create a mutual exclusion situation for more than 1 thread. Okay, let me rerun this program with the modification that I have done. I will rerun this and I'll give the same input as I had given previously, 7, and the second number is 20. Just have a look at it. Just have a look at it. Any mix and match, any mixing up of the things. Don't worry about, there is a question by Amrut. I will answer to this afterwards. Let me complete this. Don't worry about the order in which it is printed. First it has taken 20, then it has taken 7. Okay. Then you may ask me, can I make sure that 7's table comes first, then the 20's table come? Yes, you can. How you can do? We have done it previously. In the last example that I had written, I had written T1.join. This is where synchronization is different from join. Okay, when I had written, let me go through this program. When I had written T1.start and then I had written T1.join. Do you remember that? Please try to remember that. Okay, whenever you use join method, to repeat again, whenever you use join method, use try and catch. Otherwise, it will throw exception like this, because join may throw interrupted exception. That's why it is showing me error. Okay, now if I use something like this, then there is a mutual exclusion on the method, as well as you are trying to tell T1 has to complete first, then T2 starts. Are you getting? I'm just enhancing the things from previous class to now. Are you getting this? Any doubt here? I hope there are no doubts. Okay, Amrut has a question over here. Can we write a synchronized keyword while calling the method? No, it is not possible. Whenever you're calling the method, you cannot have any other thing other than the call of the method. No, you cannot. Synchronized has to be used either as a block or as a method definition. It should be part of method definition. Okay, and or else I can make it as statically synchronized. Again, that static synchronization I cannot take up right now. Okay, calling of the method will never have anything else other than the function call with reference to the object. Nothing else other than that. No. Any other doubt? I hope I'm clear with the things. Yes. Yes, okay. Have you got the need for synchronized keyword? Have you got the need for where to write synchronized and when to use that? So if you write it with the run method every time, it is not allowed. It is not preferred. Allowed, but it is not preferred, because the whole set of instructions that come under run all get synchronized, which is not required. Otherwise, if you are doing the run method itself synchronized, what is the point in multi-threading? Multi-threading is for what? Parallelism. That parallelism goes off. If you don't want parallelism, then why to use threads? Let it happen whenever it wants. Correct. So if you want to allow parallelism along with the need for mutual exclusion whenever, wherever required, then your programming becomes much preferred. Okay, this is what is the idea behind this usage of synchronized. Now, I'll just go back to the PPT that I have that I had shown, and I just want to show you one simple example which talks about synchronized block. Okay, so you can modify this into synchronized method also afterwards. You can modify that. Sorry, I have not drawn this completely. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, there is a main class. Main always in this indicates main class. There is a main class. Guys, actually in the exam, in any kind of assignment that I give, I'll be giving you something like this. You have to analyze the problem like this only. Okay. By seeing this flow chart, you should understand what you have to do. Okay. But this is much detailed. My problem definition will be much clumsier. Okay, just have a look at it. There is a main class containing the main function. Inside that, there is a call for table object. What is this table? Table object, when I tell, there is a class by name table. Okay, that table has, right now what we have done now, multiplication table, printing of multiplication table. That part I have pushed into the class table. Listen carefully. I was explaining the same example to you. What is that? There are three classes. First class has the method, which are the functional parts. Second class is a thread class. Okay, and third class is the main class. Main class has an object creation and calling. That's it. Main class doesn't do anything else other than that. So its task is call the start method. Start method in turn goes into thread class and goes into the run method. Run method has to bother about calling which method wherever it wants. What is the method available? Where it is available? In some other class. So with reference to that class, it has to call the relevant method whenever it is required. This is what is the problem statement given over here. So what is that? There is a main class. There is a creation of table object. Also, there are two threads, thread 1 and thread 2. Two threads, thread 1 and thread 2, using the table object, pass the object of the table object. Okay, this line you just leave it. Thread 1 and thread 2 have an access to table object. How? We will see that. Have an access to table object, and using the table object, it calls the method contained in table. And what is that method available? Print table. Available print table inside the table class, and I am calling that using the run method of thread class. I will repeat. Print table is available as part of table class. Print table is called using the run method in the thread class. Then who calls this run method? Run method is called by main. I hope you are understanding the linking that is available. Main creates thread object. Thread object gets associated with the table object and calls the start method. Start in turn calls run. Run calls the method contained in table. I hope this is clear for you. This example is clear for you. I will do this program using what is called as synchronized block. You can modify the same thing with synchronized method also. Okay. Let's see this example. Shall we go ahead, or you have any doubt in the problem definition? You have any doubt in the problem definition? Okay, I'm left out with only 5 minutes. Are you getting what I'm trying to tell? Please let me know. Okay, there is a question. Class table is the first class you told us about, which contains all the methods. You're right, 100%. You're right. Any other doubt? Yes, I hope this problem definition is clear. It is not the program I'm asking about. I'm asking about the problem definition is clear or not. Okay. Now accordingly, what you are supposed to do is create a thread class. Create a simple class table. Inside the table class, you have to write the method print table. What print table does? Accepts an integer, prints the table from 1 to 10 of that number. So I am simply shifting this part into table class. And there is one more class, which is thread class. This doesn't have anything other than run method, and inside the run method, using the table object, there has to be call for method print table available in the first class. And in the main method, there has to be creation of two threads, and both the threads have to be started. Can you try this example? Can you try this example on your own? I will not give the solution for you now. I will not give the solution to you now. Okay. Can you try this example on your own using synchronized method you can do? Okay. That print table has to be synchronized. Okay, please try this. On Monday, we will begin with this example. On Monday, I have the solution written already, but I don't want to show it. Try on your own. Okay. I don't know about all of you, but I am at least getting a lot of interest in this. Okay, I'm getting a lot of interest in teaching this subject for the first time. I don't know about you people, okay, how you are taking it from your side. I really don't know. Are you getting interest or no? Equal interest. Yes, you are also interested. Okay, I hope the same interest carries forward. Okay, try this example on your own, and Monday we will begin with this example. Okay? So no other doubts, I hope.